We are Steven and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Steven Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWit, broadcasting from kind of sunny Southern California.
Not really. Not sunny at all. You know what's good about when it's not sunny, though?
Tell me.
The lighting's great.
You know, I got this. I will make sure on recording days, this is it, because we need it just like this. This is perfect.
If you've ever shot any video, if you have a show or ever done a YouTube, even one YouTube video, or if you shot family pictures, it's a huge challenge to shoot into glass and then into the outside.
Right.
And then on top of that, the ocean is reflecting the sun. Like it's
It's awful.
yeah. So it's early in the morning right now and it's a little bit overcast and I'm enjoying some pretty good lighting.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with real estate.
Correct.
Before we get into it, well, today Jill and I talk about how to get a seller or buyer to perform.
We didn't already say that?
I don't know. Maybe I did.
I don't know.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Buck wrote, the buyer of one of my owner finance deals is asking what happens if he dies. You know, I was thinking about this. Let me pause for just a second. You know, I was explaining to someone in one of my, I think I was in an accountability group. I was a guest on somebody else's accountability group the other day, and I was talking about, you know, the number of deals we've done, and I've pretty sure you think you've had it all, right? You think that you've heard everything. It's with the volume and the thousands of deals that we've completed, I feel good. But every now and then, something comes up where I'm like, wow, I actually have not had that one yet. And I actually have not had anybody say this to me. Maybe you have, but I have not had this
I've
conversation.
had people die during a deal,
Yes,
during an
I have had
acquisition
that.
and a sale,
Yeah.
but never owner finance.
Well, and like pre-planning it, like I'm in bad health or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
So does his paid interest in the land become part of his estate? And his estate can continue making payments. He wants to make sure his wife and kids don't lose anything. Thanks for your help, Buck. I just think it's how he sets it up. I know what I would tell him what to do.
You nailed it.
Yeah. I would say let's just make sure all the documents read, you know, buyer, you know, as joint tenants with rights of survivorship of his wife and everything along the way. What else? I'm trying to think what other.
Well, if it's in a trust, then it's if
that too.
You know, but it's not if the contract is in a trust.
Right.
Because you don't get deeded. There's two
That's
ways
true.
to do this. I mean, I'm sure Buck's doing it the right way, which is just a contract, a land contract, where the payments get made, nothing gets recorded until all the payments are made, and then the entity owns it. And the key word here is entity. So if the buyer, it's all in his name, there's going to be estate issues. But if Buck sells the asset to the trust that he sets up, as long as the trust keeps making payments, they'll own it.
Mm-hmm. That's perfect.
That's a really long, complicated way to answer that question. And that's the real problem. In fact, this is a good parlay into the show. We're all in sales. We're all in the, you know, we're all here to sell stuff.
Right.
But none of us want to be like used car salesmen. So,
Correct.
So your buyer wants something, and the answer is it's really complicated.
Right?
You know, and you got to do these 15 things. And by the way, none of them have to do with me. I can't actually do them. My initial.
That's true.
My gut is for everybody to make it easier and do it for you, so then you sign your name. And so he can't set up a trust for this guy.
No, exactly.
So
I had that the other day. You know, I actually had someone like a deal like, well, did you get with an attorney? I'm like, what the heck? I can't hire a probate attorney and take care of it for you, like you just said. Like, okay, there's some things that have to fall on you.
Yeah.
So
that's your answer. Today's topic, how to get a seller or a buyer to perform. This is the meat of the show. This is also Jill's expertise.
So this does tie into what we're talking about, because there are, in a perfect world, there's you, the buyer, and the seller, or vice versa. You're one person, everybody's paying cash, there's no contingencies, there's nothing, it's just all sweet, happy, easy deal. And people just have to show up once, sign, hand over money, whatever. It's not always that easy. Doesn't always go that way. So how do you get them to perform when there are issues or trusts or things to untangle and escrow documents needed, or all kinds of things that always seem to pop up, right? So there's a few things that I know and I prepare for over the years, and I can help you. So you want to get the deal done. The whole point is, like, you just want people to go dark because they're overwhelmed. You don't want them to get confused and unhappy and angry because they're overwhelmed. They're selling to us. I'm going to start with that situation. That's usually where it goes, but it goes both ways. I've got a seller who's selling to me at a great price, and I want to make it as easy as possible for him and him to feel happy and good about the transaction. And because that's kind of what I promised him. Hey, you're selling to me at this price because it's going to be easy and fast, and I am all cash, but there's some things I need from you. So what I would say, there's a couple steps. Number one is explain the process. Let your seller know, and we'll talk about buyer's return in a minute. Let your seller know exactly how it's going to unfold. Okay, you gave me the purchase agreement back. Now I'm going to call and open escrow in the morning, and I'm going to give them all your contact information. They will be reaching out to you to confirm everything, and they're going to confirm our close date, and they might need some documents. So be prepared. And if you have any questions, I always say this too, because I make them feel good, because I've done a lot of transactions. I know how to work with escrow agents, and I understand their lingo sometimes. I understand, how their speed and in the process. So I say, if there's any questions, don't be embarrassed. Gosh, sometimes I talk so fast. I have a hard time keeping up. So please call me. If you have any concerns, you don't understand anything, let me know and I will help you. And that's huge, and they do. They do. So explain the process. I want you to follow through. I want you to, because they're going to be given tasks, and you need to follow through and make sure they complete their tasks with the deadlines, and explain that. There might be some documents you need. Ask them, make sure everybody gets them done in a timely manner. The faster you turn these in, the faster I can get you your money. Follow through with what you're supposed to do, and keep on top of what they're supposed to do. So you have to have a good communication between you and the escrow agent and the seller. And then check in often. I can't say this enough.
What's that mean, check in?
Oh my gosh, temperature check all the time. Hey, hi, even if there's nothing going on, I want you to call, especially going into weekends. This is a little trick that I've learned, because over the weekends, if Thursday and Friday pass and no one's talked, and now they go into the weekend, there's like this fear sets in sometimes with sellers about, is the deal getting worked on? Is everything happening? It's now I have 4 days of nothing. And it's just a weird little thing that I picked up on with sellers sometimes. So I would often just bust out a 3-minute phone call on Fridays going, hi, just want to say check in, let you know everything's going great. I want to make sure you have a good weekend, and we'll connect next week with what did they say the next steps are? Oh, good. Okay, well, great. We're all on the same page. Talk to you later. That's it. And then on Friday, they're like, oh, because I've had sellers reach out to me on Fridays.
Of course.
I've been on vacation on a Friday. I remember this one time we were in Laguna Beach, and this deal was going just fine. Everything's great, but this seller, it was a house deal, hadn't heard from us in a couple days, or escrow, and it just meant that everybody's with their heads down working. And she's calling me in a little bit of a panic, and I'm like thinking that I was going dark as the buyer. I'm like, oh gosh, no. I'm like, no, everything's great. I promise we're all good, and I'm here. So watch for their calls, answer the phone, that kind of a thing. So and then it's easier almost on the as when the roles are reversed. So that's as me as the buyer. Now the roles are reversed. I'm the seller and I got the buyer. Your goal there, and to get them to perform, is just to keep them excited. Let them know when it's going to close. Oh my gosh, and one of the things I do too is I let them, especially with rural vacant land, it's very easy to say, you guys want to camp on there this weekend? I don't care. Knock yourself out. You want to go out there and drive and have a picnic on it today? Go right ahead. I'm good with all that. It's a piece of dirt. And then because when you do that, let them go out there and drive and walk on it and love it. I'm doing one right now, as a matter of fact. this guy knows more about maps and things than me.
That's what you want.
It was awesome. Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you, if you can get somebody who's more excited about the property than you were when you bought it,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
It's him and his
You're gonna sell
uncle.
that property.
Oh yeah, his uncle's. We've talked 3 times, and he's great. Well, you know what's funny is I had one seller or one buyer that was a little confused about where the property was, and he thinks there's a gate, and so with a lock on it. So I'm like, huh. So I passed on that information to this guy, and he went out and confirmed. He's like, no, there's no gate. Don't worry about it. I'm like, yay. He's really good about it. It's like, I saw it. It's down the road. It's not on your property. Those guys were in the wrong place. I'm like, yes. So, but he's really good. So now I'm in the driver's seat, you know, I'm the seller and I have a buyer here, how to get them to perform. The process, again, that's the same steps, and just keep them excited. And you know, what questions do you have?
For you?
Yeah.
What I used to do, you know, because I was before Jill entirely and completely took over the sales operation in the company, and times 10'd it when I had it, I would ask questions. So that was I would dream up a question and call them and ask, whether on the sell side or the buy side, even if it was fictitious, just to make sure that they're still in the deal, especially with, you know, I'm more of an acquisitions person than I am sales. And when all of us who've been in the business in any capacity if you've done maybe 10 deals, you know that when sometimes deals come back,
right,
and they're the greatest deal you've ever seen. You're like, this has to be wrong. We're doing a transaction like that right now where Jill came running into my office yesterday and said, this person is ready to sign. And I need the original PDF from the mail merge because they want to re-sign. Sellers have all kinds of weird stuff.
They lost it.
Yeah. So, and they agreed to the price. They remembered the price, but they want a document. So she came running to my office like,
I need that.
And if you've done a mail merge, it can be thousands and thousands of documents in one PDF. So offers to owners had that document. I don't review it. My staff does. So unfortunately, I'm sure we'll get the deal done anyway.
I already got it.
Sellers have, or buyers, they have quirky stuff that matters to them. Then for whatever reason, they wanted to see it and touch it, and who cares why? Mm-hmm. So you just I think that falls into just provide what they want and make sure you make contact and ask them a lot of questions.
It's really about staying in contact with them.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you talk to them, you know, I don't want to blow up their phone. Don't call them every day. You don't need to do that. But they need to know that you're there if they have any questions. And it's kind of leads into a little bit about what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Building that relationship with them and having them so comfortable with you, I can't tell you. I know that there's deals that for other buyers or sellers would have just gone away but because I stay in contact and I'm me and I'm real and they can talk to me and say, what does this mean? And I can explain it to them really nicely. I don't make them feel like an idiot because they don't know what this term is, kind of thing. They're like, oh, thank you. I know it's that's what gets a deal done.
We've all gone to school with or done deals with or been married to people who just are boring as hell.
Oh yeah.
They're just like, I don't want to be around this person at all anymore. Like, so if you're that person, you're not going to sell or buy. If you're that person, and I can be that person, believe it or not, get somebody in your business that's like Jill, where they just can't wait to talk to her again. That's part of that's the truth of
that's a
success
good one.
of this.
Oh, how to get a buyer to sell. This is, oh, excuse me. Erase everything I just said. Here's what you need to do. Hire someone with a voice of like a 25-year-old hot girl. That's how you get a seller and a buyer to perform.
It's true, which is you.
Thank you. There you go. That's perfect. That's how you get it to happen. Happy you could join us today. 5 days a week, you can find us right here on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy Show is called Building Relationships with Buyers and Sellers. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
You know what that's funny about that? That's partially true. Having someone answer the phone. We talk about this a lot when the mail goes out and these sellers call you back and maybe they're a little upset about your crazy offer price. Having a happy, friendly voice on the other end of the phone takes the wind out of their sails so fast. And then you just don't let it rattle your cage. You apologize, that's there's a lot to that.
If you're somebody who other people want to be around and want to talk to on the phone, no matter what you choose in life, is going to work.
That's good.
You know, it might be buying and selling real estate. It might be land. It might be selling cars. It might be neurosurgery.
That's good.
You're going to get way further than anybody else. But if you are an Eeyore type person just walking around, that's who you truly are, then you need to like spend some time in the mirror and change your personality when you're out in public. And that's the truth. Honestly, that's what I do. Jill's the only person in this entire planet, and maybe our kids, sort of, who actually really knows who I am. I'm not going to... And she still likes me, and that's her problem, not mine.
It's not that bad.
You really
You're
need to...
not Eeyore, that's for sure.
I don't mean that. I'm just using myself as an example for fun, but
Yeah.
you got to be... Everybody wants a performance, trust me.
It's true. It's true. By the way, if you would like the opportunity to ask me some questions live, please join me every Tuesday, like starting tomorrow, at 3 o'clock Pacific time on the Land Academy Facebook page or the Land Academy YouTube channel. We are Steven Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.